Everybody wants to talk about issues. I'm here to talk to you. All these so-called spiritual gurus, these pastors, these teachers, they want to talk about issues. I'm here to talk about you. I'm here to ask you those hard questions. Like, are you lying today? Are you living a lie? I'm here to ask you that. We ain't gonna talk about the issues. We're gonna talk about, are you living a lie? Are you pleased with where you are, the people that you're around, the relationships that you are involved in? Do they give you life? Are they based on truth and love, or are you living a lie today? Because if you're living a lie, then that explains why you're having all these so-called issues in your life. Why you can't find happiness, why you can't find peace, why you can't find joy. It's because there's too many lies surrounding you. There's too many untruths that you're living in, that you're allowing to be in your life. You are allowing these things to be based on your own choices of what you choose within yourself, with what you choose to put up with. And if we're all honest about this, these things that we're putting up with them because we're afraid. And see, when someone says that to you, you get very defensive. When someone tells you you're afraid, you get very defensive, because in this world we're told that being afraid is a very negative thing, and being a coward is a very negative thing. So no one wants to be called that. No one will accept that of themselves. I am not a coward. There's no way. No, it's not. Well, until you accept your own cowardice and your own fear, you can't change it. See, until you accept what the issue is, you can't change the issue. So since you want to focus on all the issues that you can't change, it's because you're not changing what's going on in here. So you're not changing what's going on in your world, internal world. You're miserable where you are, but you won't change it, and you won't change it because you're afraid to. And then when someone says you're afraid to, you make a bunch of excuses other than fear. No, it's because this is my mom, or this is my spouse, and I have to do it, and I'm supposed to do it, because if I don't, then that means this and this. It's just fear. You see? You're not submitting to the will of the Most High. The will of the Most High is pulling on you, guiding you to where you should be, but you don't want to go that way. And whose fault is that but you? It's no one else's. It's your own fear blocking you from what keeps you happy, what would allow you to be happy, what would allow you to feel those things that you're looking for, that would make you feel what we call fulfilled. How can you be fulfilled if you're married to a person that you don't love? How can the marriage be fulfilling? And then you say, I do love. And then you ask a person, well, what is love? And what do they say? Their own ideas, their own conjecture. They don't say what the Most High say it is. But then once you show a person what the Most High says it is, they can't deny that it's love. I've had this conversation with everybody that I've interacted with, because I want to know if you know what love is or not. Because that is how I know who you are. You see? Those who know what love is have come into the I am. And once you've come into that, then you're in truth and love. But if you don't know what love is, then you can't come into truth and love, see? You're going to miss it. You're not going to know the sign that says that's the street you're on. You're going to remain lost and not found. You see? If you're supposed to turn left, then you turn right. Will you get to your destination? It's very simple, guys. You have to know where you're going in order to get there. So if you're looking for love in this world, how do you know when you found it if you don't know what love is? How do you know how to obtain something you don't know how to recognize? And we should be all saying the same things, correct, about love, but we're not. Everyone's saying something differently. So they all have their own ideals of God, because God is love. So everyone has their own idea of God. So then how are we all saying that we agree and we're all saved and we're all under one banner? If you want to know if somebody's under the same banner, then ask them what it is. Ask them what love is, to see if they know what it is, to see if you stand under the same banner. But see, what you guys are doing is you're going, I love, and the person's going, I love too. So now we're under the same banner. But are you under the same banner of truth and love? Because from what I've seen, it's a bunch of people living in fear, not love. And when I ask them what is love, they say it's a feeling. It's giving someone your last. It's forgiving someone. It's hugging them and checking on them and seeing how they're doing, or making sure that you give them the coat off your back. And then you ask the next guy, well, what is love? And he says something totally different. And then you go to the next woman, you say, what is love? And she gives you her ideas of it. And then you give someone else, say, what is love? They give them their ideas. So then how are we all standing under the same banner? When we've been told from the Most High what it is. He's told us what love is. And we just can't agree on it all and all say the same thing? That love is kind. Tell me it ain't. Love is patient. Love is long-suffering. Love is not puffed up. It vaunteth not up itself. It rejoices in the truth. Love hopes all things. Love believes all things. Love conquers all things. That's the answer. It is not envying. It envieth not. That's what love is. So when you ask a person, that's what they should be saying, because if you guys don't believe that's what it is, and someone put it in the comment section that it's not kind, it's not patient, it's not long-suffering, it's not vaunted up. If that's not what it is, then you tell me what love is then. Because look, people on the earth, you earthlings, all listen to this. How are we going to succeed without love? And if we don't agree on it, then how can we all do it together? Children? Don't want to submit to the will of the Most High and what He told you it is, because you can't deny that's what it is. It's sickening at this point to rebel against that truth of what love is and try to come up with your own ideas of what you think it is. You think you got a better answer than it's kind, it's patient, it seeks not its own, it is not puffed up, it vaunteth not up itself, it rejoices in the truth and not in evil? That's not what love is. And if that's what it is, guys, then how come we can't all agree and say that's what it is? And so when someone comes to you, since you all fucking complaining about your life, I've been hurt, this person won't love me, this person won't love me. Do you know what love is? While you complaining about what they are or aren't doing, do you actually know what it is? And can you recognize it when it's being given? Because all of you fucking baby's kids, when love is actually given to you, guess what you do? You reject that shit because you don't recognize it as love. Love rejoices in the truth. So if you're a fucking liar, then you'll never receive love, will you? Because you rejoice in lies, nigga. You want somebody to be with you that rejoice in your lies with you. Well, that ain't love, motherfucker. So you never gonna find it, are you? The whole world, when you ask a person, it doesn't matter what race, it doesn't matter what land they come from, it doesn't matter what. If you ask them what love is, and if they say it's kind, it's patient, it's long, and the whole list that I've keep giving you guys from the Most High source, because it ain't my list. But it doesn't matter where they come from. If they say that, then they are agreeing with the truth. And if they say something else, then they are forming their own opinion. They are forming their own ideals of what they think love is. And they're going to be left desolate. Because you can't deny the truth of what it is once you have heard it. Then now you know. So when you go out into the world and people say, I love you, then you're seeing if they're kind to you. See? You're seeing if they are patient with you. Not if they say they love you. You're not looking for the word I love you. You're looking for if they're kind. Now I know you love me if you're kind. Now I know you love me if you're patient with me. Now I know. I don't have to wonder. But if I don't know what it is, then I'm just at the mercy of this world. And y'all all are miserable and sad, chasing after a fucking illusion. Yes, he loves me if he's 6 feet tall and he has a 6-figure job and he buys me all these nice things and gets my hair done and gets my nails done and sends me on trips to the Dominican Republic every summer. Then he loves me. Where the fuck does it say that's love? And where does it say it take money to do it? Now I got another question for all you smart ass people that think you know every goddamn thing. Does it take money to love somebody? I'm gonna ask you another question. What is the pearl of great price? The knowledge of what love is. Because God is love. That is the highest knowledge there is. Y'all ain't got no excuses on this shit. You just want to still be able to lie. You still want to be able to scheme. You still want to be able to manipulate. You still want to be able to trick and do wickedness. And see, all the elect, all the prophets, they were without honor with their own kin and in their own hometowns. Why? Because they knew what love was. And they knew that those people around them were not giving them love. And so they had to pull themselves away from those people, their so-called family members, those so-called colleagues, friends, users, really, abusers. They had to pull away because they were able to recognize they are not giving me love. And when I'm giving them love, they are not able to recognize that's what it is, and so they're rejecting me. The light came into the world comprehended it not. The world don't comprehend love, you see? It's not anything else, and if it is, then tell me what it is that we lacking out here, people. Then y'all tell me what it is that we lack. All of these hundreds of years of this beef with this Negroes and Caucasians. What's the problem? We ain't talking about it, are we? Well, let's talk about it today. You so-called blacks and so-called whites. What's the problem? Who's lacking love? And why? Because it's love that's lacking between the two. One wants to get along and one just can't. He wants it all for himself. He doesn't want to share. He doesn't want to make it equal. Why? Maybe he knew that it wasn't equal from the start. Was it? One is rejected and one is loved. Why? Is it because one is willing to forgive and one isn't? Could that be why? Could it be because one is willing to love and one is not? Could that be why? And could this be going on every level? So there is a man and a woman married in a house right now. One is willing to forgive and one is not. And that's why it's falling. That's why this land is falling. Because one is willing to love. One is willing to do the thing called love, and one is not willing to do it. So the house falls. How many marriages is that right now? How many businesses is going through that right now? How many business relationships is going through that right now? How many brothers and sisters are going through that right now? How many mothers and their children are doing that right now? How many fathers and their children are doing that right now? Because one is willing to forgive, one is not. One is willing to love, one is not. So the one that is not willing to forgive will be done away with. And all of his goods will be given over into the one who was willing to choose love instead of hatred, and instead of fear, and instead of backbiting and stealing and murdering and lying about everything. We choose truth today. So you stay in your lives, because you're going to see the payment for that choice. All of you who chose that, instead of coming into the truth. So it's to Israel, Siloam. To the rest,